10% idea is that in any organization, there's a group of 10% of the people who actually reach the other 90%. These will be your big community leaders, your influencers, people with large networks, and that in any situation what you want to do is you want to identify those people and reach those people so that they can reach the other 90%. One of their commitments is to try to create the 10% for that next generation, or to identify them when they're young, and to try to find people who have those sort of innate leadership gifts and innate networking gifts, and to say, all right, we want to invest in you now, since we see that 15, 20 years down the road, you're going to be one of those 10%. Well, the idea is to teach them two things. So first of all, to educate them well. So to teach them, I think Elisa said some things about the education system in Honduras, but to educate them better just in terms of math, reading, writing, normal things, but to also teach them what it means to be a disciple of Christ, and to follow Christ with your life in all ways, and what it means to be a servant to the community and to love the community the way Christ does. Well, there's a number of significant problems in Honduras. One of them is that geographically Honduras is located at the point in Central America where most drug cartels actually run their drugs up through Central America and then by boat from Honduras to North America, to the United States. And so what that means is that Honduras is an area of very active and sometimes very violent drug trade. And that brings with it sort of all the problems, the crime associated with drug cartels, the danger, and so there's that piece of things. There's also the problem of there's a huge number of young people. So I think the average age in Honduras right now is 21 years. So 50% of the population is under 21, 50% is over 21. So there's a huge population of young people, and so there's a real problem of what are those people going to do? What job are they going to have? What is their purpose? Where are they going to lead the country? And within that, there are all the sort of problems of a large group of young people without necessarily a clear path forward. There's lots of teenage pregnancy, a lot of drug use, a lot of those things that just come from basically aimless lives that don't have purpose or direction to them. It's like in many cultures, that there's sort of different economic classes and different sort of ethnic strains, and particularly in Honduras, the groups of people who are much more Native American or mestizo are discriminated against. They're thought of as being hicks and bumpkins and less than the people who are from the city, and then sort of maybe even in some cases there's even distinctions among sort of darker skinned and lighter skinned Hondurans. The darker skinned Hondurans are looked down upon by the lighter skinned Hondurans, and so a lot of the people that Nelly and Jose work with in the villages fall into that sort of darker skinned, more mestizo population, and therefore they have sort of an uphill battle already in terms of integrating into society, but in reality, they probably outnumber the non-mestizo people. It takes a few things. It takes a generation of people, a small group of people, but a small group in a generation who are willing to sacrifice, who are willing to do whatever it takes for their country. But I think the important thing that Nelly and Jose's work also relies on is that it's going to take God. It takes God stepping in and doing something more than just what the people can do. And that's something I think that the people there realize, is that they're looking for something highly unusual, something that's not unprecedented. It's happened in history before, but it's not through their own strength that this is necessarily all going to happen.
Dealt with coming and doing mission stuff and that kind of thing. we suddenly found people that we loved and cared for devastated. So we, a lot of us decided, well, this now becomes not just the mission part of our ministry, it becomes the ministry. So then we started doing different kinds of things. Okay? And I had no idea, you know, what it was, but we tried a lot of different stuff. And we failed a lot of stuff. And we were baptized in corruption. People steal $250,000 from us, property, and but everybody that does this kind of work is going to go through that stuff. And that's what happens here. But we were not discouraged. We kept forward. We kept learning a lot of stuff. And around 7 years ago, we started putting it together. And not so much because we're smart. This is because the whole God forces you into wisdom. You know, if you love God, it doesn't matter what you do. If you love God, He's going to set you straight.
The education system in Honduras is in some ways similar to the States in that, you know, kids of all ages are going to school, but it's a little more based on rote exercises and repetition. In Lanaka, there are a few issues. First of all, a lot of the families need money, so it makes more sense for a student to be out picking beans or working in a factory of some kind, because that brings in income for the family, versus the education. Sometimes they don't see the value of that. Also, you have to pay. You don't have to pay to go to school, but you have to pay for your uniform. You pay for your seat, they call it, and you pay for your supplies. So if families don't have the resources to obtain those, that can be difficult as well. And then lastly, once you're older, once you're going to high school, the school is actually in a different town. Lanaka does not have its own high school, so you have to figure out how to get transportation to Danli, which is the city where the high school is. I would say that Honduras has a very different standard of what it means to support a family. So yes, a student could continue to pick beans for a living for his whole life. Will that bring in enough money to live comfortably? No, but there are a lot of people in Honduras who have sort of subsistence living, so it's just sort of enough to get by. They grow a garden, maybe have some animals that they raise at their house for food, and then you're just scraping by to get the rest of what you need to survive.
¿Sabes dónde está? En el norte, donde hace mucho frío, hay mucha nieve en el invierno. ¿Sí? Pero estamos aquí de visita, hemos pasado muy bien el tiempo aquí. Y no sé si ustedes tienen unas preguntas o quieren saber más información.
Casi un árbol, una palmera. Allá, no, allá. Eso. Me dijo, ¿qué? Una palmera de un pescado. Hay un pescado, ¿sabes? Yo, está más chico el mío. Una ballena, ¿ves? Una ballena. ¿Qué le pasa? El codo del agua, mira.
Súper placer trabajar con ustedes. Ustedes deben ser muy orgullosos de su trabajo. Un aplauso para todos.
¿Cómo se llama? Wilson. Entonces, todos vamos a practicar esos con Wilson, pero Wilson, su nombre es Wilson, tiene 16 años. ¿16? No, 18 años. Yeah.
Anaranjado.
Azul oscuro.
Oh.
sentence. What has God given to you? Why are you even here? In a sentence.
He's given me his son. He has given me his son.
He's given you his son. But you could be in Miami with his son, but you're here. Why here? What did you tell us on Monday? Or Sunday, was it?
He's given me a nation.
He's giving you a nation. Do you believe it? But sometimes, I see. You worry sometimes? Yeah. Well, God is saying to me, the primary thing that God is saying to me right now is to take those worries, those concerns, and put it here, because that's where it belongs. It's garbage. It's garbage in his eyes. If God said he gave you this nation, for you to worry that the nation is not yours is basically saying, well, God, I don't believe you. And the scriptures tell us, what is it? Is it Hebrews 6:11? Said that God is the rewarder of those who, what?
Diligently seek him.
Diligently seek him. And I believe as you continually to be diligent in seeking him, as you are obedient to whatever he says, no matter how crazy, no matter how stupid that it may sound, it may not make good sense to you, it may not be what others are doing, as you are obedient to his voice, everything that you need is going to be done. Because if he's given you the nation, then to have, to rebuild the community of Lanaka or even Don Lee is falling way short of what he wants to do. He wants to rebuild the world. And he's just saying, he said to you, I'm going to give you this nation. That's a powerful statement. That's a powerful statement, because basically what God is saying is promised to you is that he expects you to be the governor of this nation. He expects you to be the one to usher in his kingdom here. That's huge. That's huge. And in order for you to do that, you have to understand that wherever you go, you're walking on the ground that God has given you. So the fact that someone gave you a plot of land for the center, that's all that was a token. It was an example. It was just a way of him demonstrating how he is going to turn over the possessions of the heathen so that his kingdom will be established. So whatever's needed, it's there. His favor, his grace, it's going before you. And you just have to believe that everywhere you step, you're taking possession of the land. And as you walk throughout Honduras, say, Lord, this is yours. And trust, and just know that, you know what, don't think that you're not going to see it. One way or the other, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. God has not given you or asked you to make the sacrifices that you've made in your life, to experience the pain, to experience the cost, and then rob you of being able to see what he put in your heart. One way, I don't know how he's going to do it, but one way or the other, you will see it. It won't be a mystery to you. It won't be, you know, I don't know what it's going to be, but God's going to begin to allow you to see it. And you will see it even before the reality of it comes, so that others can see it. Because just as you were saying earlier, you had us reading those scriptures, and it was talking about the secrets and the hidden things. Well, no one shares secrets with just anybody, because then it wouldn't be a secret. If you had a family recipe, you just don't share it with everybody. This was a family recipe that was passed down and down. You would only share it with those who are most intimate with you. And just as you are intimate with God, God is going to begin to reveal those secrets to you and open it up. And the hidden things are no longer going to be hidden to ourselves. Amen.
Amém.
Amém.
Amém. Amém. Certo.
sing some